Today, the Twit Netcast network clocks millions of downloads every month, with listeners coming mainly from the high-tech enthusiast crowd, a drop in the bucket when compared to the real potential of podcasting once it gets adopted by the general public.
There are three things that are a problem right now. One is most of the real public has no idea podcasting even exists. So we've got to get the word out. You've got to let people know there is such a thing. Two, even if they know, it's technically still somewhat difficult to listen to a podcast. A lot of people think because of the name you have to have an iPod. You don't have to have an iPod. It isn't all about this thing. It doesn't have to be on this thing. It could 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 be on anything you can listen to it. And I wish people knew that. And we've got to get Apple out of the equation, frankly.
With a sizable audience and the ad money that comes along with it, Leo Laporte sits atop one of the first independent podcasting empires. When you do the math, it appears that Twit could make millions of dollars next year.
I'm going to get a yacht, big house. I'm going to get a bigger I guess I can't get a bigger monitor, but what it's going to change is that the people who've been volunteering their time will get paid. And that's a big thing. I don't think anybody's going to get really rich on this, and we have people have approached us, venture capitalists have approached us and said we want to invest. I'm not interested in that.
Next on the agenda for our Petaluma podcaster, the building of a new site that will offer audio and video podcasts along with user-generated content, just like a giant media group but operated by one man in a village in the wine country. The other side of podcasting is video, and in that case as well, independents have found a viable business model marrying original content with advertising. The best example is the launch here this week of a series of shows by a site called Revision 3. As you will see, it looks just like the kind of TV that you'll never see on TV. This is where it all happens, south of Market in the artsy part of San Francisco at Mighty, one of the local hip hangouts. Welcome to Revision 3's launch, or rather a relaunch party. Not exactly a VIP-only event, no. The organizers just put up a link to the invitation on a public website so that their fans may come to party with them. The whole Revision 3 story actually started with a website, Dig, a Web 2.0 site very famous amongst internet users, and that's not just in the US. Every day on Dig, users submit links to the best pages, the best articles and the best videos on the web, links that you can vote for with one click, enough to build a real-time list of what not to miss on the internet today, one of the best ways to keep your finger on the pulse of internet pop culture.
Welcome to Dig Nation.
Since then, Dig has given birth to Dig Nation, the video podcast, a show shot in Kevin Rose's apartment, with one camera, no editing, no makeup, and no professional lighting. A show where the hosts discuss all of the best stories posted on Dig during the week in a pretty light-hearted tone, though that might have something to do with the quantities of beer consumed during the show. At the helm of Dig Nation and Revision 3, Kevin Rose, journalist, entrepreneur and podcaster, for whom the homegrown aspects of podcasting are anything but a flaw.
The fact that we can create a show with 3 people is amazing. I mean, when I was working at Tech TV, we had a team of 25 or 30 just to make a daily 1-hour show. When we do Dig Nation and other shows, it really is like 3 people, and that's great. I mean, it's very low budget and it's very raw, but that's the way the consumer wants it. Everybody that checks out the show loves the fact that it's not overproduced.
The reason for tonight's party is the slew of new shows that Revision 3 is launching this week, shows that you can download for free, of course. Just like Twit, everything here is financed through advertising, with sponsors that are actually treated like family.
Well, for us, it's really about choosing the advertisers and working with advertisers that we really believe in. Because personally, we don't ever want to run like 30-second spots, like commercial style. Everything that we've done thus far has been products that we really enjoy and that we really personally use. And I think there's such a huge value to the advertiser there because they're getting not only a spot on our show, but they're also getting a recommendation by someone that really believes in their product.
Amongst the nicer touches that can be found on Revision 3, the long list of video and audio formats that the shows are available in. From the usual MP4 podcast to DivX and Windows Media, among others, many in resolutions high enough to enable viewing on your big screen living room TV. To save on bandwidth, Revision 3 offers most of its shows through BitTorrent, living proof that peer-to-peer networks can be used for good. So, cheap content, low-cost hosting, and no real marketing budget, except perhaps for the bar tab. We may be witnessing the birth of a new business for niche TV content, although for Revision 3's founder, there is no comparison between this and traditional TV.
They have a little bit of a different model, you know, they create $1 million shows, you know, Lost is $1 million an episode, but they have this huge infrastructure and this huge audience that is watching these shows. For us, it's really about the long tail content, so we're creating a lot of really niche shows with a small amount of people that hit a certain, audience that we want to serve.
Among all of the shows, you'll find that many or most are about high tech and the internet, but that's not all, folks. Case in point, Control-Alt-Chicken, a cooking show for people who cannot cook. One show that remains our favorite, if you ask us, is The Broken, a show about hacking where you'll learn how to modify your Xbox 360 to allow you to play, let's say, backtop titles. You'll also learn how to strip internet music of nasty DRM copy protection. Well, you get the concept. One of the other great new shows is Web Drifter, a show about weird websites and their weirder owners. You've been warned. This is not your regular TV, but that may change after all. One day, why not license that content to cable channels?
Potentially licensing, but really it's all about creating it online, making sure that it's free. You don't have to subscribe to cable to get our shows, we don't ever want to charge a fee for them. It's about creating what our audience, our niche audience of tech enthusiasts wants.
Today, Revision 3's best shows are clocking downloads in the millions each month, and hey, that's cause enough for celebration.
Voilà, c'est la fin de cette émission. Merci.
That's all the time we have for this week. Thanks for watching. If you don't know yet everything there is to know about podcasting, please visit our site at LCI.fr, where you can watch, download, or podcast our show. After all, a little self-promotion can hurt, can it? We'll see you next time in Paris. Have a great week.